What's happening? Benton here. Thank you so much for joining us. Whose house? Our house. Jessica Jane pointed out that when she comes into the live, she starts at the beginning and catches up in fast speed. So even though nobody's here yet, I guess I'll just pretend like there is because I guess in some way there are folks here. If that makes sense. And shout out to whoever may have joined us here. The title of the video, I've already forgotten. Oh, yes, Nightmare, Dystopian, Fear, Burnout. And this is something I've been wanting to talk about and probably have spoken about. Is I'm just burned out on all this stuff. Just whatever the next thing is that is in the news cycle that people are discussing. I guess it's AI. Whatever the media narrative du jour happens to be. Uh, I'm out of it, man. I've got nothing left to give. I'm so burned out I can no longer emotionally react to any of this stuff. War with China, nothing burger. AI, more or less whatever the drudgereport.com, whatever fear they're pushing of the day, just no reaction. It's almost now. Is it even real? Shout out to the chat. Music holds a secret. Good to see you, Rob Cleveland as well. Holla, Ginger Ridge, indeed, keepers of the faith. And I don't know how much I have to say about this. Real quick, shout out to JFK Beta. I noticed that he released a video featuring some of my content, our content, as it may be. And I'm committed myself to going live every day. So this is it. I'll give whatever I have to give. You're welcome to it. I'll drop the link here in a bit. Maybe some folks will come help me, come save me. Disinformation from the AI. Well, then, Dark Glasses Woody, been thinking about you there, brother. Good to see you, my man. I like this. What do they call that? A PFP. I'm trying to read what kind of alcohol that is. Yeah, cool picture there. Oh, and Carl. Oh my goodness, this is what a momentous occasion. I got Woody and Carl here at the same time. Buenos dias, degenerates. Hope the feels are good, Benton. Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. Doing quite well. Hope everybody's having a good day. Although I have failed to generally at some time every morning I go outside and gaze into the sun for a few moments. Oh, real quick before I forget, let's tell a story of what happened this morning. So I'm still in the habit of purchasing, excessive amounts of nutritional supplements, and there's an Amazon locker. It's like an hour round trip on foot to walk to this Amazon locker and back. It's still more convenient than, trying to have stuff delivered to the motel. Last time, actually, the one time I've had something delivered here, it ended up going to the office, and I had to go see the owner, which is okay, but I'd rather not trouble people if possible. So I rolled out on foot about 3 a.m. and it's kind of a main street out here in general area, Fort Worth, Texas, and nobody out at that area at that hour typically. A car every once in a while, and I see a guy walking down the middle of the street towards me. We're coming towards each other, and he's wearing a like a reflective vest. This guy is, and I can see he's got a large stick or metal pole of some kind. And black fella, couldn't tell the age or anything, but kind of a skinny black guy. And so I'm looking at this guy, and this is something I've noticed in my many years of homelessness. I am still homeless if JG's ever here, but and I'm a terrible storyteller, so please forgive me, but I can tell when somebody locks onto me. Like there's something, and we all have a sixth sense and intuition and whatever you want to call it. It's like when I'm walking, usually I'll walk facing traffic, but sometimes I'm walking like there's enough room on the side of the road. I'm walking like where a sidewalk would be, or if there's a sidewalk, if I'm going like with traffic to my back, somehow I can just tell. Now, part of it is being able to hear the traffic as it comes up behind you, but it's like I can just tell when somebody's going to turn, and I just stop automatically, and then just magically there's somebody here turning. It's like a sixth sense, right? So I can tell, man, when somebody just, it's like this guy's locked onto me. I can tell that psychically he's attached a tractor beam to me somehow. And he actually starts walking towards me, but he's still quite a distance off. It's pretty dark. I mean, there's street lights and such, and mostly used car dealers and businesses. There's not a lot of actual houses, but some. There's some residential around. Indeed, never relax. Well, probably. Yeah, Musical's the Secret says JG would have just punched him in the face. Well, see, I'm not getting anywhere near this guy. So once I detect the lock on, and now if he was on the other side of the street, I wouldn't even be worried about it. But he's already kind of tipped his hand with the walking down the middle of the street. And I mean, this thing's like 6 feet long, right? Which actually kind of makes for a poor weapon if you think about it. But you never know when one of these random bozos just decide to reach out and touch somebody, right? I mean, there's nobody around whatsoever. So of course, unzip the fanny pack. Left hand. I'm a lefty. Left hand on the hardware, as it were. And I don't want to reveal anything that might actually constitute a crime, but I didn't commit a crime, so but I'm going to be, careful with what I say here, and still attempt to. Oh yeah, Moray Scotch says. Glenn Moray Scotch says dark glasses, Woody. If I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. So then I remember, oh, that's right. I guess I'm just going to have to start wearing my body cam everywhere I go all the time. It does look kind of ridiculous, and I already kind of look like a cop between the mustache, which I can consider just mostly humorous. I have a mustache because I think it's funny, but the clean cut white guy, serious manner, whatever. I come across as a cop to some people for whatever reason. Now I'm mobbing around with a body cam, but so I'm trying to get into my backpack. So I'm like, oh, my body cam's in the backpack, trying to but then he's closing in on me too fast, right? So I'm definitely not letting this guy anywhere near me. So I'm like, well, fuck, now I got to abandon the body cam. I want to be able to record all this if something actually goes down. So now he's close enough to me. Fucking, I've got the trigger guard holster, it's a lanyard attached to the fanny pack. Come up out of that, pistol up against the fucking chest, just looking at the guy. And he sees what I'm doing. And this would not be, by the way, this would not constitute brandishing. This is not brandishing. And in Texas, I'm pretty sure this might be considered defensive display of a weapon. Pretty sure this is legal. Hopefully I'm not telling on myself here. I'll have to go back and double check all this. I'm pretty sure I'm good. I would consider this a self-defense situation at this point, personally. And then I guess after he sees my firearm, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. After I had gotten my hardware ready, I actually put it on the ground in front of me while I'm looking at him, and I'm trying to see if I can dig this body cam out quick enough and actually attach it to my clothing. So I've got like a magnetic mounting deal, and so I guess now he's figured out that I have some hardware. And I look up, and it looks like now it appears that he's pointing a weapon at me, because my eyesight's not the best and it's low light, but I'm like, oh, he's actually pointing the stick at me, as if it's a rifle. And I actually had no fear for my safety necessarily. Well, I can't say that. That's not true. I have no fear of my safety as long as he stays away from me far, but he's not going to be permitted to come close enough to harm me. That's just not going to happen. But otherwise, I'm not concerned, if that makes sense. As long as he keeps safely away from me, I'm not one of these people who's just like freaked out by some person who's probably experiencing a mental health crisis. And then he starts trying to talk to me, but I have my headphones on. I can't really hear what he's saying. And I'm just like, dude, just go over there, man. Like, I'm just like, man, just go to the fucking other side of the street, man. And he actually goes to the other side of the street, and he's trying to talk to me. And I'm like, bro, just you do you, man. I'm like, I'm not worried about it. Just, I said, in fact, if I would just go the other way, but there's really no other way for me to go here, like I would just completely avoid the situation if it was avoidable. Right. And, then he just went his way. I went my way, put everything back where it belonged, and thought, yeah, maybe, you never know. Maybe the cops will show up and ask me what the fuck's going on. Maybe they won't, but it is Texas, so I wasn't too worried. I did hear some sirens at a certain point and just kind of got off the road just in case they were looking for me. But it was pretty much a nothing burger other than that. And I doubt the guy, when in fact, if he didn't have a fucking long stick, none of this would have been a problem, even if he was walking towards me. It was the fact that, he's behaving strangely, walking down the middle of the road, reflective vest, you know, um, has the physical, I'm just assume he's some kind of drug user, drug addict. I'm assuming nobody else is out at that time of day. Um, and I think a metal pole, I believe. Like I'm not getting fucking hit with a metal pole. It's just not going to happen. What's up, Christos? Good to see you. Indeed. But yeah, exactly. Successful NPC interaction. Yeah, and indeed, without and I almost never, you know, the firearm rarely comes out. It's very, very rarely does it come out of the fanny pack. It's never pointed at anybody. That's for sure. But I did feel in this case that I needed him to understand, like, hey, just don't come over here, and we're all good. And it worked. I mean, he that after he locked on, he started walking towards me, and then as soon as he figured out that I, was able to protect myself from a distance, he never came any closer to me than that. Um, which so it served its purpose because that's really all I cared about was, dude, just I'm not worried. I'm not calling the cops. Walk down the middle of the fucking road all you want. I don't really care. Just stay away from me. Right. That's all I care about. Live and let live, brother. But I need to let you know that probably don't come over here because if you get squirrely and I feel like my life's in danger, I'd hate to have to defend myself. And I really mean that. Like, I have no desire to harm anybody, but I'm not getting cracked upside the head with a fucking metal pole. And then you've seen some of these videos of what can happen to people when they're just laying unconscious on the ground. Not interested in any of that. So yeah, that was, had a good time this morning, but yeah, no further. Good to see you, GRP. Yeah, I saw Yurt was live earlier. I did not get the notification. I was here doing nothing, probably just sitting here eating. Had no idea the man went live. And at first, I was like, thought he was smoking a cigarette, and I was like, I'm always confused when otherwise intelligent people smoke cigarettes because I mean it is one of the least intelligent things that somebody can do. Um, I mean, really, I don't care what anybody does, but it's very very stupid thing to do. I mean, just based on the amount of money it costs alone. Oh, and then, forget about the health, impact, just because I've done plenty of things that are bad for my health also, but just the amount of money involved. And then it's, by the way, it's like, oh, you must really love to pay taxes because I don't know if you know this, most of that money goes to the government. It's like the tobacco company, yeah, they get a little bit of that. It ain't much. Most of that money goes to the government. So you must really love paying taxes, smoking cigarettes. Yeah. Escaped on foot, Woody. I just would have dipped out. The main problem with where I was is that anywhere I would have dipped out to on foot would have been residential, and that's it. This is Texas, and it's 3 a.m. You don't really just want to be some rando on foot through neighborhoods necessarily, if it can be avoided. Yeah, I definitely would have. And it was like, a lot of these car dealers have like these fences with dogs and stuff. So this is actually kind of, hemmed in, right? In that one little area. It's almost like I was boxed in. But yeah, I would have escaped on foot and probably just hid somewhere until he was gone, most likely. But without the pole, it would have been completely. I just would have been like, I just would have talked to the guy. Probably, I wouldn't have stopped, but I would have had a conversation. Like a conversation as I continue about my way. I would have talked to him for sure. But between the vest, the walking down the middle of the street, and the long pole, which he was holding it as if he wanted to swing it at something. It's kind of like you can just tell, like, it's easy to assess somebody's body language. Like the way he was holding it was almost like a baseball bat. It was actually, that's how I could easily tell how long it was. It wasn't like he was treating it as a walking stick. Like he wanted to swing this at something. And for all I know, he went down the road and, because it's like two main streets, two big streets kind of meet For all I know, he wandered down to the intersection and cracked somebody's head open. I mean, seriously, who the fuck knows? It actually reminds me of time in Santa Barbara when, and again, the sixth sense, the spidey sense tingles. There was this guy. I'm just walking down the sidewalk near the mission, and I see this guy. Uh, just he's walking like directly towards me, but he wasn't locked onto me necessarily because like he was going the direction he was already going just happened to be like towards me, right? But then like I'm really paying attention to this guy and I could just feel the fucking vibe. I'm like, this dude, and he had a guitar in his hand, but the way he was gripping the neck of it, you could just tell he was wanting to like he wasn't playing this guitar. He was wanting to hit somebody with this guitar. So um I don't remember what I did physically, but I think I just kind of stopped and looked at him and was like getting ready to fucking do something. And I think he was just gonna, if I wasn't paying attention, I think he was just gonna hit me with the fucking guitar because he went past me and then just smashed the fucking guitar like on the sidewalk. Like just smack, and it was one of those, I guess I'm assuming kind of a cheapy guitar. I don't know guitars. It was an acoustic guitar. I guess I should mention that. But I could just tell immediately. I'm like, something ain't right here. Like this is something's gone very wrong, and this guy's about to do something. I got the same vibes off of the guy with the pole. I could just tell. It's like he wants to do something. It's like which is fine. Again, like go do it to some. Like I don't want him to hurt anybody, but it's like just don't do it to me, right? Like I'm not Kim. No offense, Kim before the storm, but I'm not Kim before the storm. Like it's not like I'm calling the cops necessarily. Um, Although I would if I really felt like somebody was in imminent danger. But it's like, it's not my fucking problem. I hate to be that way, but it's like, I think homelessness in part kind of made me that way. It's like I really learned to mind my own fucking business while also, being very observant of my environment. So it's like, I don't care what the guy does. Just leave me out of it, buddy. That's why I told him, I said, you do you, man. Like, just leave me out of it, man. I'm going this way. I'll see you later. Yeah, I'm glad you remember that, Woody. See, that guy meant me no harm. See, I could just tell immediately the guy with the meth head covered in the bike parts. Yeah, the guy was wearing fucking. He was carrying bike parts, wearing fucking. Now he was. It was one of these people where you're like, you're going to keep an eye on him, and you're not going to let him get close just because. But then he's also like, some of these people are so fucking crazy that as long as you like keep your distance, they're usually fine. Like, but I've seen people who don't really understand the mentally ill homeless people. Like one of the major mistakes that just a normie makes is they get too physically close to they don't like that. Just stay like whatever you think their personal space is, like a normal person's personal space, like quadruple that, stay at the edge of whatever that would be, and then talk to them from there. Like I'm not even kidding. So it's like just give and I might be telling the story wrong because I'm going from my memory, and as we know, memories aren't wholly accurate. But yeah, this was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in Tacoma, Washington, which is south of Seattle, is the most post-apocalyptic Mad Max thing I've ever seen, man. Like it was just like on a whole nother fucking level. Yeah, it's interesting that Woody remembers that story. Crazy. Good to see a QE. Oh yeah, the smashing of the guitar. Yeah, that was in Santa Barbara. Which, like I say, if I had just been like glanced at the guy and went back to listening to my music or whatever, who knows? He might have smashed it upside my head. Bizarre that he chose to, because the fact that he came from such a distance away, and then like whatever I communicated with my body language is more like, hey man, just I'm cool, just leave me the fuck, just don't hit me with it. And then he smashes it on the ground, like pretty close to me actually. I'm just like, bro, but something, I knew something was about to happen. So I got the same exact feeling with this black guy. I was like, I could just tell, like he wants to swing that at something, and there's really nothing around to swing it at, in that general vicinity. Maybe he just found it. He's like, oh, I want to hit something with this. Like, well, find something else, sir, not me. Yeah. Good to see you, Gary Baxter. Yeah, and it sounds crazy, but I think it's probably fairly normal if you're gonna want to be in a major city and you think you're just gonna go wander around on foot at 3 a.m. Keep your head on a fucking swivel, right? But yeah, if there was any conceivable way of there was really nowhere for me to go on foot without just trying to fucking hustle up, and then I'm just going to end up, in somebody's neighborhood, and they're going to, if somebody's out there on their porch smoking a cigarette or something, that's it could very quickly not be a good time, right? Probably would have been okay, but even still. And then I don't really know the area that well. He might be a local. You never know. Yeah, there you go, Gary Baxter. I actually, in fact, have never been incarcerated, but living in the streets for so many years. In fact, I'm just a street person for whatever reason. I grew up in a high crime area. I've always been very comfortable in any, you know, from a young age. I've just been just a street person. I don't know why. It's hard to say. Hard to say why that is, but it is. But yeah, crazy shit indeed. Crazy shit indeed, Quantum Epic. Well, see, and she says, I'd guess on drugs. But see, that's the thing is sometimes, I've been around people and they're like, wow, that guy must be on drugs. I'm like, no, that's lack of drugs, the way that person's behaving. If they had their drugs, they'd be fine. Like, this is actually, but yeah, this guy was probably just mentally ill, I'm assuming, which, of course, the drug use goes hand in hand. But, for all you know, he's having some kind of psychotic episode. And it's like, bro, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't really help you. So I'm not the. Yeah, sprocket and chain bicycle necklaces are very popular fashion with the homeless. Well, yeah, and the West Coast fucking bicycle stealing and accumulation of stolen bicycles is on a whole nother level. I can assure you, it's a thing for sure. But I wanted to play a little bit of Yurts live because it was pretty short. Oh, and then we had EBT Intoxicated in Iowa. If you haven't seen that one yet, I actually that was what I was listening to, by the way, when I encountered this fella. But yeah, let's go over to Yurt. Let's see. Yurt said a couple of interesting things that I might want to respond to. Then we'll probably drop the link after that. I expect. Let's see. I think right about in here, maybe. We'll play him at 1x.
Everything that's wrong with the truther community.
All right, I think we're almost there. Let's back up a little bit.
He's very successful, but he's sort of paradigmatic. He's paradigmatic. He's a quintessential example of sort of everything that's wrong with the internet.
Who are we talking about? Now I got to go back further. I missed that part somehow.
People have given up on the Yurt. It's over, and that's okay. Maybe this is a final broadcast.
No, I don't think so.
We say good day to you. We got 4 people. Good morning to you, 4 people. Are we coming in here at all? Can I get a mic check? Oh, there's Ginger Ridge. Yeah, Grand Rising. I was thinking about that today as I started this thing up. I was going to say good morning. I was like, can we not say good morning anymore? I know a lot of people like the Grand Rising. Can we not say good morning? And isn't it sort of a
Thank
good
you,
morning
GRP.
at a level 2? Aren't we mourning maybe the loss of our connection with the ethereal dream realm?
Well, yeah, I'm sticking with good morning.
We are in mourning when we wake up.
Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I'm sticking with morning. I've been saying it my whole life. I mean, my life's it's all right. I mean, I feel like it's worked out okay overall.
Thank you, Bad Barney. No bullet. Yeah, I don't know if the internet's super weird out here. It only works like in the morning. But yeah, Jack is wild. And it's funny, the thing with Jack is everyone thinks they like Jack at the beginning.
Not me.
That's what I get.
Spotted that
and
motherfucker immediately.
Calls this corpse climbing, but I'm just talking about the shared messages, the shared storylines that we all see on these things. And it's good for Jack. I hope Jack is very successful, but he's sort of paradigmatic. He's paradigmatic.
Yurt's going to make me look up words.
He's a quintessential example of sort of everything that's wrong with the internet. Sort of everything that's wrong with the truther community. All right, there's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of talk, but then what's really being accomplished? I know he's been yelling about this too. That's sort of his big thing, right? It's like the waste of his time.
Well, nothing is being accomplished at the level of changing. Again, you ain't gonna fix a nightmare dystopia. Like that is not going to happen. And the fact that so many people seem to have mindsets geared towards, fixing a dystopia, I think that shows how heavily programmed the people, even in the so-called truth community, are. And that's just my opinion, by the way. And it certainly doesn't, that doesn't apply necessarily to the people who come to this channel. I'm more speaking more broadly, in the greater so-called truth community. And that's, I've been a little critical of a Freedom Grower, just because I've noticed when he seems to be really good with the philosophy, but then he seems to veer off into problem solving. But I'm like, but yeah, but we're not the ones. Like, let's assume that this can be fixed. We're not the ones tasked with fixing it. Like, so where I would start with the problem solving is number one, like, do I have the power to change this? It's like, no, you do not, Benton. You cannot fix a nightmare dystopia. And Paul is the only other person other than myself that I've heard in man, I got to start just clipping. I got to just start making clips. But he said something recently to the effect of more or less saying what I'm saying, um, but with respect to like the legal and lawful and the the slave system and the corporate slavery, and just more or less saying, it's what's we're the people collectively are the ones doing all of this. So, you know, more or less knock it the fuck off, right? That's what I've said is like, why are we creating a spiritual dystopia and then we're living in it? And then I have to, my only real power is to examine, what part do I play in the creation of a spiritual dystopia? And then, I take it further as far as, is that what we all have in common in this realm? Is all the, all the spirits or souls or whatever you want to, if this lines up with something that, whatever, you know what I mean? Standard disclaimers in effect, but if and I know whatever my essence is, it's not from here. I know that it was somewhere else. It came here. Who knows what's next, but hopefully not just this again. Right. Hopefully I'm not just going to do this again, but, um, to me, that's a error in thinking. Right. And I see a lot of flaws in people's thinking. And I think part of that is that I'm not particularly bright just when it comes to raw mental horsepower. Believe it or not, I know it sounds insane to some extent, but again, I am the smartest person that sounds the dumbest, though. I will take credit for that. But you know, if people think I'm somewhat intelligent, some of that has just been I've spent so much time with the basic forms of logic and reason that I'm never going to just willy nilly. Well, no, I shouldn't say never, but it's difficult for me to just willy nilly go down some path of thinking, some very sophisticated, oh, let's spend hours and hours trying to solve problems. But I've never considered, well, wait a minute. Number one, is it possible to solve these problems? Number two, okay, if it is, who has the power to do it? No, I don't have the power to change this dystopia. Uh, so now it can be a fun exercise, right? To engage in just a fantasy of, well, what would the problem solving look like? Like that can be good, right? But I see a lot of people who seem to, and they talk about we, right? It's like, oh, well, we this and we that. It's like there's no we, man. You're talking as if the 330 million 330 million Americans or whatever it is, 350 with Mexicans, like Joe Rogan used to like to say, you know, um, like that's a block that can be mobilized. It's like, no, it's not. And if it was, you still got to compete with TikTok, mainstream media, Fox News, CNN, just whatever people are being programmed by. Good luck. So, okay, let's just assume we've gotten this far in the problem solving. What's your mechanism for combating the propaganda and the fear porn that's pumped at all of us, and the masses also on a daily basis, but more or less second by second, right? That's what I was talking about with I'm just burned out on it. Like I used to love just kind of and the news cycle was so insane. It was like every day, man, there was just crazy news stories, and there was a lull for several months or however long, and then now it's kind of back to a lot of stuff in the news cycle. But I just can't bring myself to be. I can't be moved by any of it anymore. It's whether it's fake or real, or part of it's real or part of it's fake. It's just, dude, whatever my synapses are, it's just they're burned out. I can't deal with it.
But it's really
Probably ought to check in with the chat real quick since I just said a whole bunch of stuff. There you go. What's up? Good to see you, brother. I'd love to change the world, but I'll leave it up to you 10 years after. Great song. Hey, El Perro, what's happening? That's funny. He says earlier than usual for me. Bitch won't let me sleep. That's good stuff. Apparently, EBT was in your town last night, out on foot. I think you knew that though. At a certain point, he read your name out from his live chat. Dara El Perro. Dark Glasses Woody. Trutherism serves a psychological purpose, allows one to become disillusioned with the status quo and yet continue to externalize evil. Excellent, sir. I like the externalize evil. Meet the new enemy, same as the old enemy. Indeed. This is one of the reasons I love Woody so much is, well, he has excellent taste, of course, but other than that, it's like I'll talk for 20 minutes and he'll just write 2 sentences. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I could have just put it that way. Yeah. Yeah, no kidding, John Wayne. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to do this life again or something worse. Yeah, can I just, pretty pleased with sugar on top? Can I just ascend to like the next adjacent level of hell, not come back to this one? Yeah, let me get up out of here. Yeah. Wizard's grown on me, I have to say. He's definitely grown on me over time. Oh, cool, man. Yeah. Awesome. Hopefully you guys stream that. That would be awesome. Yeah, there you go, Roy. Good to see you, Roy. Care fatigue. Yeah, I think I'm just done, man. Like I'm just and the COVID really, it was all fun and games for me up until the pandemic, the fake pandemic or whatever we're calling it started. Although I did get hit with the bioweapon. And again, like I've told people, whatever the COVID refers to, that can be more than one thing. I don't know what they hit me with, but that was everybody I know that got hit with that in that area at that time is convinced it was a bioweapon. So I'm not the only one. But that's a matter of opinion, of course. Yeah, let's get back to Yurt here. Let's see what the Yurt fellow's talking
the waste
about.
of our time, isn't it? So this truther community seems to be a big waste of time. Does anyone feel that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a waste of time at all, because what are you going to do? Hang out with the normies? The commies? Are you going to hang out with the commies? And that's actually the communism thing. And I've said, look, it's full communism. We have it's full. America's a fully covert communist country, as far as I'm concerned. Period. And I'm actually starting to see it in the comedy scene, which I'm a fan of. This Anthony Cumia, of Opie and Anthony. It's a whole long story, but now he's just completely ostracized from. Initially, he was ostracized from like being able to make a living, in corporate radio and all this, and now he's just been ostracized from the actual comedy community for the most, not entirely, but and I'm just listening to earlier this morning, I'm listening to Cumia describe what he's been going through recently. I'm like, bro, these are commies. Like, these are literal commies. Bill Burr is a communist. Think about that. Bill Burr, based on his actions, is a motherfucking communist. I mean, do you think I want to wake up every morning and it's I used to actually like the guy's comedy, by the way. Now, it was years ago. He hasn't been funny in a while, but he used to be pretty fucking funny. And now he's a communist. And that's not hyperbole, by the way. He's a literal communist. And he's kind of the big dog in the comedy scene, or one of the big dogs. And how many people are just going to follow right behind him and be good little commies? A lot of them. So to me, it's like the truth community. If this is my opinion, and I do tend to state my opinions as facts, if we can, if the individual in the so-called truth community can divorce themselves from the notion of fixing anything outside their own energy sphere or maybe their own immediate family. See, I'm not saying that there's not work to be done. I'm not saying that individuals don't have power. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying it's an externalization, and that mentally, for whatever reason, and I'm this way as well, humans, they want to go try to fix what's outside of themselves where they have almost no power. The power is internal. It's within my own energy sphere. So if I'm taking care of that and fixing that, and what if it comes down to ultimately my only power is for me not to create a spiritual dystopia? And then if by some magic, which I don't think is going to happen, but if by some miracle, the majority of the populace also discontinues creating a nightmare dystopia, a spiritual dystopia at the level of, the collective output, the sum of our creative force. Again, we're making this moment by moment, and our creative force, if I'm created in the image and likeness of the Most High, that means I'm endowed with creative force that never lies dormant. Something new is being brought into existence every moment, by all of us. And it's my contention that when you add all that up together, that's the world we live in. And I do agree with what Pamela said, that she doesn't think we're meant to fix it, which I think that's probably true. Maybe this is a training ground in some ways. And probably it is, whatever this is. But I just think that's brainwashing and mind control to think that. And you saw it in the Obama campaign, by the way, when Obama was running for president. This idea of every time somebody mentioned a problem, and this is, by the way, straight out of Rules for Radicals. If you haven't read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, it's right there in the book. It says, when your opponent, starts mentioning problems, immediately force them to provide solutions, because then obviously we can just pick apart the solutions, right? Or even worse, if they don't have a solution. And I've noticed and this is communism, and I've noticed that even the people who think they're conservative do this now. Oh, well, what's your solution? Like, when did I say I had a solution? Am I not allowed to say that the fucking house is on fire? Oh, what's your solution to the house on fire? Put some water on. What do you mean? Like, am I supposed to just walk by, and because I don't have a solution to the house on fire, just keep walking? Like, what is this? Right. And I know that's a terrible analogy because that just happened, that just what came out of my mouth in the moment. But, good Lord, what is this? But yeah, we saw this in the Obama campaign. So it was like all of these campaign stops, every time somebody mentioned a problem. It probably, especially when he was running for re-election, I don't remember exactly, but, well, what's your solution? Um, as a way to stop the person from talking about the problems, right? So that's what I see in the so-called truth community a lot of the times is like, oh, well, now we need to go into problem solving. It's like, why? We can't solve this. And by the way, are we even meant to solve it?
Yeah, is this real? Music holds the secret. Good to see you. It's hard to tell what is real. It is hard to tell what's real. This morning I woke up and EBT was in Iowa. He was in my stomping grounds. I was like, is this real? What is EBT doing in Iowa? My home base. You should have told me. I would have met up with him. We could have got raging drunk. I don't really drink anymore, but I'd make a special exception for EBT. A rager with EBT, we'd both be in jail. Golden Renaissance Productions is real. What about old Israel? I try to check the news from time to time. I've really been laying off the screen, so I really don't know what's going on in the world. Maybe you guys could give me some mainstream news headlines. Although I clicked Drudge for a second, it was something about they're panicking now about the AI stuff more and more. What else is going on in the world?
Well, yeah, that's what I think I started to mention this earlier, and I got sidetracked. But when David Cho was on Rogan recently, I've been seeing some of the snippets. That was a big theme they were talking about. Cho kept going on and on about the AI. And, obviously he's some sort of gatekeeper, I don't know exactly what he is or what his function is, but if you just look at, the access to money he has, and, Lord knows who he hangs out with in, Hollywood and all that. So, yeah, he was just going on and on about the AI, and actually it was actually kind of disturbing because he was addressing even people like truck drivers, which I don't care about that from my perspective. but just, he got very close to if anybody remembers the idea of people said, oh, well, the West Virginia coal miners can just learn to code. Like that was the solution to shutting down, the green initiative to shut down the coal plants was, oh, well, they can just learn to code. Right. Which is pretty demeaning thing to say, but he got pretty close. I'll probably have to go play that clip here in a minute. He got very close to just pretty much saying the exact same thing, but he was presenting as if it, oh, well, now the masses, now that more or less the underclass is going to have some great fucking opportunity to go out and grow and change and express themselves creatively because AI is fucking going to take away their means of feeding themselves and their families. Right. It was disgusting. And I used to be a huge David Cho fan, by the way. The piece of fucking garbage. Anyway.
Oh, Wizard was trying to.
Well, let's check back in with the chat. Oh, get him, Carl. Get him. Anyway, yeah, El Perro, you've grown on me, which I will drop the link here in a bit. I'm on a bit of a roll here, El Perro, but it's coming. I'm just going to let you guys take over. Hopefully you got a couple of minutes. But yeah, let me wrap up this. And this is a short clip with Yurt. Yeah, it won't be long. Won't be long. But yeah, hopefully somebody else will come up in here and I can kind of chill out for a bit. Let's see.
Me, Wizard, and EBT.
Yeah, it'd be the dopest fucking IRL live stream ever, man, if you ask me.
Out on the town. We could have had a great old time. Yeah, the Jack Talcott stuff is crazy. And then get my boy Moose. Them get my boy Moose and get my, Moose acting crazy out here. Sort of.
Yeah, Moose is kind of losing it, I think. Or maybe he never had it. I mean, nothing personal, Moose, but it's taking a turn for the bizarre, and we were already out in left field, arguably, I would say.
Find his role in those flips, those thought experiments with all these different people in the conversations. This becomes so interesting. Yeah, Star Daddy, I think you're saying what I'm trying to say. All this nonsense is taking away from us creating the reality we want. Distractions and distractors, we are doing their agenda for them. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, isn't it? And, I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of adding fuel to the fire of the nonsense and the bullshit. So I can't get.
Oh, and I just remembered, for the record, I'm pretty sure Yurt was smoking a J, not a cigarette, earlier.
Tomfoolery, but at least we know when the tomfoolery is taking place. But what I've realized is I've taken a bigger break from the internet and the social medias and sort of returned to my pre-social media state. It does start affecting the way you think and your behavior and just the time suck. Does any of this really matter that I'm participating in? And I get people.
Well, and it does matter, but this is what the point I tried to make earlier, and I kept sidetracking myself. I think it matters in that it is, even though it's not a substitute for IRL human interaction, it's still human interaction. And we have to have it. I'm an actual hermit. I have to have it. Yes, that's to me, that's the major benefit.
A lot of people start asking that or pointing that out or getting, frustrated with the drama bonding aspect of it. But the reality is, and I'll stand by this, the drama bonding aspect is still the most valuable thing you could be doing on here, I guess. Right? Because at least in the drama bonding, you start cutting to people's core issues and breaking down the facade of ego and persona and all that. People start having semi-real conversations. So, some of the drama bonding, even though it seems like the worst of it, is actually the best thing you could do with this, because other than that, there's no skin in the game, emotional skin or whatever in the game, and you're just sort of chatting, the sewing circle phenomenon or what. I don't know. I don't really know what the purpose is. And I knew this would sort of happen for me as we moved out of winter, and that had been my joke, that sort of my YouTube career was sort of, a winter's games of sorts. And it feels that way. Looking at these comments. Jack is a commie, socialist, aristocrat. Exactly. Yeah, you read these great books like the Dostoevsky stuff and the Tolstoy stuff and Russian literature sort of around the revolution. And he tells stories of the same thing. and these are the people who plotted the commie revolutions, the socialist revolutions. It's just sort of crazy whack job people that would get together in regular meeting rooms and cook up these plans, and then the zeitgeist and the just the way things were at the times, it would all kind of come together and create social upheaval and the clusterfucks that we see today. So Jack does seem to have that vibe to him. Ginger Rich says world news just propagating fear. Nothing new. Yeah, exactly. And RT is done with the whack towel cot as well.
All right, that's probably most of it. I haven't heard the whole thing yet, but that was most of what I wanted to react to. Brain dead commie. Yeah, I definitely don't think his brain works, but he's certainly suffering from some very serious personality disorder. Good to see you, Mr. Smackleford. Is Moose here? Yeah, it's like every time I fucking insult Moose, he's just right here somehow. Anyway, yeah, don't. Yeah. Anyway, Moose. See, now I feel bad, but it's like I don't know. That was my real opinion, but yeah. Oh, serious Moose. Okay, good. Well, and I could tell you were putting on some of that, but it maybe that's what I meant by turn for the weird. See, now I'm back. I'm gonna have to backpedal off from my comment since he's actually here. It can. See, that the thing about weed is it's not the same for everybody, and I've said this before, but the most productive person I've ever encountered in real life was a very successful entrepreneur, and he smoked all day, every day. And this guy was such a maniac. At a certain point, he was limping around, and we were like, "Bro, what are you limping around for?" And he's like, "Pretty sure my foot's broken." And we're like, "Well, why don't you go to the doctor?" And he said, "Well," I said, I got to take the family to Disneyland." So he said, once I get done with the family vacation, then I'm planning on going to the foot doctor. Guy was, just a complete maniac, and all day, every day. Very successful entrepreneur. Yeah. Yep. Well, and Moose, I'm the one who's noted your expert ability to become the center of attention. I also this is a skill I share as well. So game respect game on some level. Good to see you, slow boy whiteboard. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, and then how far do we want to get into the cannabis stuff? I mean, it does fucking make some people psychotic, like for sure, most definitely. Like that is a real thing, and I love cannabis. Well, Carl, please don't make me go. Yeah, don't make me go study. I mean, I like to study, so I guess I need to brush up also, since I do like to throw the communism word around. So now I'm going to have to go brush up. I probably do have an obligation. And again, all the comments, I whether I can tell they are or not, on some level, all the comments are about me from my perspective. So anyway, yep. Shout out to the real maniacs, indeed. Yeah, I would say cannabis affects people much differently. Yeah. Yeah, some people are very productive on it. I lose about 15 IQ points. Other than that, I can just it's never stopped me from doing anything. I can be on edibles and just do shit all day, but it makes me dumb as fuck. Well, yeah, and that's communism, right? That's the thing, is that's when the definition is supposed to be what's the government owns the means of production or whatever, or the state owns the means of production. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to brush up, since I like to throw these terms around so much. But all right, we're dropping the link. We need a couple of people though, if we can, because I don't know if I can do. No offense, El Perro, I'm not sure I have the energy to keep up with you right now, because I'm quite unwell. I'm trying not to use that as a crutch, but I'm not sure I can keep up with you right now. So let's see. Does anybody else want to come up with Wizard possibly? Carl going hard in the paint. Now I will say, I don't miss it when I don't smoke cannabis, me personally, but I really do enjoy it, and I'm one of those all or nothing, dude. I'm all day every day, or I just don't do it at all. I've never been one of these. Oh, let's just have a toke here and there. It's like, no. If I'm on, I'm on. If I'm off, I'm off. Yeah. And then I would say my favorite flower, if I'm not doing concentrates, it's always something right around like 15% THC, 17%. To me, it's like this fucking 35% and all this. This is fucking crazy, man. I don't get it. I don't understand. Yeah, maybe for like every once in a while, but good Lord. Uh-oh. Are we going flat Earth? What's going on here? Don't get that started, Carl. Don't get that started. I definitely don't have the energy for that one. Yeah, indeed, Razvan. I do like to get fucked up. That's very true. Very true. Very true. All right, we're dropping the link. What's the worst that could happen? What have I done? There it is. Please enjoy. Did I run off the ladies, by the way? I haven't seen the ladies around as much lately. Is it the time of day that I go live? Like, what is it? I'm starting to take that personally. Here he is. What's up, Wizard? Good to see you, brother.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Carl, I don't know what your problem is, dude.
Oh, well, this is Carl.
You really need to get a life. You think I got to travel around the world to get a message out? Oh, my God. You think I need a passport? You think I need to be a slave just like you?
He loves this reaction, though, right? Like he has to.
Oh, I'm sure. That's what you were talking about, this metaverse earlier and the truther movement. And that's part of it. We have people like Carl that are going to come in here and try to do some dispelling, as I call it, and, it's one of those things that in my realm, it actually drives me closer to other people. It's one of the things that I'm actually working on in my own personality is trying to make sure I'm a more personable man so other people can get to know me better. Because as most of you know, I'm a fucking rat bastard. I tell people all the time, you don't want to be my friend. Because most people that like me because I tell them nothing but the truth. And the people that don't like me, they don't like me because I tell them nothing but the truth.
Yeah, I get it.
So it's up to you. I'm going to be me, no matter how you see it, but the me has to calm down a little bit so others can see that truth.
Yeah, I can relate to that. That's something that I've worked on as well. So I know what you mean.
And I'm one of those guys. I like to take a hit every now and then all throughout the day.
Yes, sir. Hey, if it was up to me, that's what I would do. But in my vocation, that's not an option, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's completely understandable, until we can release ourselves from that slave system and we're under that check and monitor system for that paycheck. That's what you're really getting paid. You're getting paid in restrictions.
Boy, that's the truth. You got that right.
Well, think about it. Your seniority even has limitations based on how long you've worked there. So you're limited by your paycheck because somebody else earns a better paycheck in the same place. So it's a competition rather than an equality.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's very competitive. Well, thankfully in some ways, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the competition itself. The fact that they leave it as a restriction once you get to a certain competitive spot. See, the competition actually remains in the oligarchy, in all the big corporations. We're working on a tontine banking system that says the last man standing owns everything. Well, that sounds kind of like a defeating system to me, because if there's one man standing, then everybody else is gone. So then what is the purpose of owning everything? See, it's just insanity.
Oh, it's definitely insanity. I could not agree more.
And Carl, you're playing a good part. Brother.
Yeah. Well, we're big fans of Carl over here. Just for the record, we enjoy.
Oh, I'm
Carl.
sure you are, but that's why I say I don't know what his problem is. Calls me a boomer. I don't know what this boomer thing is.
Well, that's your generation, I guess. But you're probably I don't know which generation you are.
66.
Okay. Yeah.
right smack dab in the middle of it. But that doesn't mean I'm a boomer. Okay.
Well, you don't. Yeah,
That's
you don't
just
come
the way
across that way.
society. That's just the way society tags people at a certain time period. See, we've
Oh,
got
yeah.
the Generation X now. What's a Generation X? X, Y, Z. Sounds a lot like the ABC company, you know. So what are we doing?
Well, I'm Gen X, and as far as the younger generations are concerned, I'm also a boomer. I don't know if you know that, but there is no Gen X as far as these the younger people are concerned. It's just boomers. So I'm also a boomer. How about that?
Yeah.
I've had to come to terms with that. I try to tell them I'm a Gen X, and they don't care. They don't want to hear it. So it's
Well,
like,
it's
all right, I guess
amazing
I'm a
how
boomer.
somebody that comes after us tells us what we are.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right, Carl? Right, Carl? You know us so well because you've been around a little less than we have. So we don't know as much, right? That's why you
funny.
name us. That's not the way it's ever worked in history, guys. Never.
Yeah.
This is why I laugh at people like Carl. You know, that kind of shit doesn't bother me. That doesn't trigger me. Now, when you want to get up on one of those panels and ask me if I love God, that might trigger me a little bit.
Well, you were a little salty that day, I think. So
I
that
was.
probably had something to do with it.
And,
Yeah,
and speaking of EBT, yes, you're Austin. He's right next door in Cedar Falls still. He's going to be here until Thursday. We're planning on meeting up later today if we can make it happen. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to see. My bike is supposed to arrive today. I had to order a new bike because somebody conveniently thought mine was better for them while I was down with cancer. And
Shit.
So I've got another bike on the way. I got to get an engine for it yet, but so until then I'll have to pedal. But the way it goes. But yeah, we're hoping we can meet up later today.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping you guys stream that. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hoping my device will. I haven't done any streaming on my device, and I don't know if he has yet or not, but it'll be an experience to at least try.
Oh, you guys can figure it out, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's not like we're a bunch of dummies, just a couple boomers.
There you go. Although EBT is like in his early 30s, he seems older for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, he's like 34, I think.
Yeah, he does. He's got that head full of gray hair already, doesn't he? Wow.
He's just mature or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and one of these days, I was hoping Yurt would stay up here because I wanted to talk to him real quick.
Oh, no. Well, he wasn't here. We were just playing his content.
Oh, okay. Because
yeah.
I want to get down towards him sometime too, because there's a couple dispersed campgrounds down there I want to check out. I want to eventually start doing some traveling, and that's going to be one of the probably first stops because it's down in the direction I would travel is south. He's kind of southwest of me down in Des Moines, about 2.5 hours.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So it's not something that's so insurmountable we can't make happen, because I like like he was talking in the thing earlier that it's time to get over the winter thing and start into the seasonal stuff. And he's got an orchard and everything that he's got to take care of. So I can see that. And that's the same sense I've got here, particularly coming off of cancer, so it's time to get off my ass and start doing things. So the streaming and my attendance here on all these different platforms probably change. Probably won't be around quite as much.
Yeah, which would be good. Get out there in the sun. Yeah. That's what I'm going to be doing as well.
Yeah, it's glorious here. We're hitting 55 degrees already at 9:00 in the morning in middle of Iowa. So 11th day of the 4th month. We're supposed to be getting showers and stuff to bring the May flowers. And we've been exceptionally graced with the good weather here lately. So,
yeah, man, it's been great. A lot of places. I'm in Texas, but I'm going to bring on Razvan real quick. He might have something to say. I'm not sure. We'll see. What's up, Razvan?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Brother?
Greetings, man. Good to meet you yesterday, brother.
Good to see you, Wizard. I think EBT is from the alcohol. It will age you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we all have our own vices.
I don't know. Some people don't age from alcohol. Some people do.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. It aged me pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't touch it. Every once in a great while I might, because I make it. I make moonshine. So it's just like a winemaker. You got to drink the first cup. You got to make sure it's not
Oh yeah,
poison. Going to kill
absolutely.
your other friends. So I do make shine for my friends, and therefore I do have to taste it. And so every once in a while I do have some. But other than that, I don't touch it. I don't mess with liquor as alcohol. And the shine that I make, I use for many purposes other than just giving to my friends for intoxication. I use it for fuel. I use it for lighters. I use it for incense, all kinds of things.
Oh yeah, very useful
Yeah,
for sure.
you can make medicine. Well,
Hey, you
like with
broke up a
honey
little
and
bit
stuff
there.
like that.
Broke up a little bit, Razvan. I think you might be back now, though. Maybe.
I was saying you can make some medicine with honey,
Yes. Yes.
alcohol.
Yep. And that's actually one of the things I do is the using it as an incense. You can put like flowers and other things in there. One of them is honey, fruits, different kinds of fruits, apples, and maybe a little bit of cinnamon, and you use it as an incense. And then when it burns off that alcohol, now you've got a paste that's left over that you can use as a throat syrup.
Yeah, I used to help my grandfather make moonshine when I was younger.
It's good stuff. You know what you're doing. You light a place up.
From apple, plums, different fruits.
I always had my best success with tomatoes.
You can make moonshine from tomato?
Yep.
Wow, had no idea.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I've made cucumber vinegar, tomato shine. I've done a lot of flavored shines directly from fruits. I've done shines where you add flavors to them afterwards, like schnapps and stuff like that, where you can go out and get the tinctures. But like I said, the best I've ever made was the apple, or excuse me, the tomato, and I think it's because I had to counteract the acidity in the tomatoes, and to do that you use sugar. Well, the sugar content is what the yeast uses to turn into alcohol. So I had to use more sugar in the tomatoes because of the acidity, and therefore it came out as a more direct fire shine rather than a flavored shine that you hear about the moonshiners down in Tennessee Valley or something, with the fruits and stuff like that. So the tomato isn't something that people like more for a flavor. It's more because it's more powerful, and you get really fucking rocked on it. It's closer to Everclear.
Oh yeah, you need a lot of sugar.
Yeah, that's the most expensive part about it, especially with the cost of sugar back when I was doing it. I got to get a new still before I can distill anymore, but hopefully one of these days soon. Well, anyway, guys, I'm out. I want to come up and shoot the shit a few and get my day started. Always glad to start it with Benton.
Thanks, brother.
In regards to the StreamYard community, you're one of the more placable people that I've come across, and I enjoy conversation with you. It doesn't get so quite so riled and stuff.
Right back at you, sir. Have a good day. We'll probably see you later
Thank
over
you.
at the other place.
Take care, Rizzo.
Yep. You too.
Cool, man. What's going on with you, Razvan?
I just started today my first shift for this week.
Oh yeah, you were at your house yesterday. I remember now.
Yeah, I was shooting the shit with Paul.
Yeah, I kind of like you when you go on there, man. It's pretty good.
I think it's a great idea if he preaches this like let's get better as men and stuff like that. I think it would be a nice idea, to do some exercise live on webcam. I mean, he spends like Well, he used to spend like 12 hours live streaming.
Yeah, I know. I think yesterday was like 9, I believe.
Oh yeah. I had this idea from there's a guy, streamer called Sneeko.
Okay, I'm not familiar with Sneeko.
Yeah, he's on Rumble.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, I don't fuck with Rumble.
Yeah, he's banned off YouTube. He used to have 1 million subscribers.
Oh, yeah, maybe I have heard of this guy then.
Yeah, he does like red pill content, stuff like that. And he encourages his audience, to do push-ups, and he does like 30, 40 push-ups on the live stream.
Yeah, I think Paul will get in shape eventually. He's still kind of young, I bet he will.
Well, I wouldn't say he's badly in shape. I'm not in shape either, but
Well, I just mean like fitness level. I don't
I
even
have
mean
a problem.
I don't even mean like weight. I just mean like fitness level and stuff.
Yeah, I have a problem with he keeps promoting that guy Wes Watson, 100% on steroids.
Well, yeah, who cares? I don't care. And what I was saying in the chat
Well,
is,
if you're gonna,
you can get dude. If a guy lifts and eats a lot of food over a period of time, you can put on a lot of size. It's hard to be that lean without steroids. It's not even how big he is.
oh yeah,
and you look way bigger, when you're fucking ripped like that. Like, to me, that's the thing, is just not having any fat on him, really. He's probably not that big of a guy, really. I mean, if you just saw him in person, I bet he's not like just gigantic.
yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's what I think. Because dude, I lifted weights, and I know look at me now. I mean, you can't even tell, but I lifted every day for 4 years and ate a lot of food. I put on a lot of size, but I wasn't. I still had fat on me, also. Like, that's the hard part, is keeping that muscle while getting all the body fat off. It's hard to hang on to the muscle. That's the hard part. That's where the steroids can really come in handy, by the way.
Yeah, they burn fat like crazy.
Well,
I had a friend who was using
and you
steroids.
keep the mass, too. What were you going to say?
I have a friend who used to use steroids, and he was a big bulky guy. And after about 2 years, he's like, "Dude, I can't get it up anymore."
Oh yeah, no,
I was like,
yeah.
"What are you telling me for?"
Yeah, I think it's better if people, maximize their natural testosterone first. But everybody do whatever you want. I mean, it's his body, his choice, man. If he wants to do steroids, who cares?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but like I don't like this hypocrisy. Like, look at this guy. Look how much he works. It doesn't require much work if you're using steroids.
That's not true either. You still have to bust your ass in the gym, but
well, yeah, you still have to lift, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I liked lifting. I enjoyed it. So, but yeah, he probably enjoys it, I'm assuming. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to claim hard work when you like enjoy it anyway, but I don't know. I like the Wes Watson stuff personally. I don't, it doesn't speak to me necessarily as far as making me want to go out and get shit done, but I think he's got a good message, me personally. And then, in the internet age, the fact is that if somebody has an attractive physicality, that's a big part of having an audience. I mean, whether we want to like that or not, that has a lot to do with it. And there are people that probably watch him just because he's got muscles and he sits there shirtless. I mean, there's probably people who tune in just for that, I would imagine.
And yells.
Well, yeah, anyway, for sure, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Me, for one, I can't get past
Yeah, I
the
hear
looks.
you. Yeah.
I'm biased in that way.
Well, in the Americans.
Like, if I see someone full of, I'm a judgmental person. If I see someone full of tattoos like that, because growing up, that's not my culture. I can't listen to. I mean, you can say the most wonderful stuff on earth. If I see you like that with tattoos on your neck and face, I can't take you seriously.
Yeah, I hear you. And young,
You know what I mean?
yeah, young Jim says you still have to put in the work in the gym, but the juice gives you an edge. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's definitely if the other people are not doing it, then yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I don't think he's involved in an actual sport necessarily either, but you know, like the NFL, I mean, they're all pretty much all, you know, on steroids, I'm assuming, to some degree. And then Slow Boy Whiteboard said, look up trans ex bodybuilders. There's hundreds of them with online personalities and e-begging. See, I don't even, I'm not exposed to any of this, so I can only even imagine what the fuck's going on. Like, I'm just speculating, but it's probably far worse than I could imagine with people, you know, putting themselves out there in certain ways, you know, on the internet. Because, you know, not everybody has something to say. Not everybody has like a engaging personality necessarily, but they're all still out there, you know, trying to get attention on the internet. So
I'm actually curious how he made his money because I don't know anything about him, but I'm willing to bet he didn't bring any value to the world. Like he didn't make any factory or make some produce. I don't know. You know what I mean?
well, you might be right. I have no way of knowing. I
Some
mean, I don't know.
bullshit, some bullshit crypto inside shit. You know, rich people they hang together.
Yeah.
Like I can respect someone that I don't know builds a factory, creates jobs, like making a product or something. But if you made your money, you know, on OnlyFans, I can't respect that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, maskless, faceless says steroids turn people into horrible assholes. In his or her experience, I'm assuming his experience. Yeah, I mean there may be something to that. I would not be surprised if there was. Roid rage is probably a thing on some level. I'm assuming. Although, you know,
Oh yeah,
yeah. Go ahead.
my friend used to beat his
Oh
girlfriend.
shit.
My friend used, yeah. So roid rage is real.
Yep. Well, and it's it's.
After he stopped,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
he wasn't aggressive anymore.
Yep.
When he stopped doing roids, he wasn't aggressive anymore.
Well, I know. I'm pretty aggressive. You know, not I'm older now and I'm sick, but you know, in my younger days, I was very aggressive, just naturally aggressive person. And when I was really lifting heavy and putting on weight, I definitely became more aggressive. I was, I already had a short fuse, and it got even shorter for sure. But it's funny how that works. Like, dude, people didn't mess with me as much. It's funny just putting on a little bit of size. It's like because being a skinnier guy, man, sometimes people do try to fuck with me here and there, which I find kind of interesting. Because I'm still the same person, whether I have muscles or not. But yeah, me personally, I was never interested in any kind of steroids. I did one cycle of pro hormones, the M1T, which actually turned out to be, it made you way stronger in the short term, but it had really bad side effects. But that was just one you take, it was legal because you could take it orally, but I didn't like it, man. I got off of it pretty quick. I think I did I did like one bottle of it, and that was enough for me. But I definitely got stronger. I don't know that I got any bigger on that stuff, but I definitely got stronger for sure. My strength went up immediately.
I used to work out at home before I started, sleeping in the truck. I used to do push-ups a lot. You know those bars you put on the door?
Yep.
I used to do those push-ups. Really enjoyed them.
Yeah,
I mean, there's something about lifting your body weight.
Well, yeah, I'm as sick as I am, I can still do like 25 push-ups, and I can do a bunch of just body weight squats. Like I could probably do, if I really wanted to wear myself out, I'm sure I could do at least 50 squats, like, probably 100. But dude, I can tell, man, the sickness is fucking taken over in some ways. Cause I don't really do anything now other than just walk around. I get tired walking now, dude. It's kind of sad. I never thought I would be like this, but I'm adjusting to it, I guess. It's just mentally, I always.
Do you walk fast?
Oh yeah, I love walking, man. I've always liked to walk, but yeah, I've always been a fast walker. But mentally, I'm always gonna think I can do shit. But then, like when I get out there to do it, I'm like, oh fuck. Actually, now I'm sick and I can't do this. Like my brain still thinks I can do all kind of stuff that I can't do anymore. It's kind of funny, actually. Yeah, you're right, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah,
Pull up. That's right.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it does. I don't really know. I'm starting to not care, really. It's just kind of funny. I find a lot of it funny, but yeah, I just assumed I would have good health, more or less my whole life, because pretty much everybody in my family has good health. But oh well, it is what it is. I'm doing whatever I
If COVID
can.
never happened, man,
What's
we'll
that?
be fine now. If COVID never happened,
Well,
we'll be fine now.
yeah, that made it worse for sure. But I already had these health problems before, but they weren't, they were under control for the most part. But yeah, the COVID, the pandemic, I hate to use that as an excuse, but yeah, that fucked me up all kind of ways. Not just getting sick from it either, just the changes in society, for sure.
I think it fucked everybody up and made us more hermit. Destroyed the little social skills we had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say so. It made a lot of things worse for sure. Hey, I think I'm going to wrap up in a few, but I got a news article I've been wanting to read, so I'm probably going to let you go if that's all right. It's good talking to you, brother. Yep.
Take care,
We'll
man.
see you later.
See you
All
later.
right. Bye-bye. Yeah. I hate having to let people go, man. I don't have the energy. I just really don't. And it sounds insane, but between talking to Wizard and, not that they did anything, it's just, dude, my fatigue and it's very unpredictable. So like yesterday, I wasn't even going to go live because I was feeling so just fatigued and worn out. And then I kind of got a little fired up when I watching Freedom Grower, but in a good way. And then so when he ended his live, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go live. And but then like later that day, I don't know if it's because I had a couple of oranges and an apple, like 2 apples and 2 oranges. And I haven't had any apples or oranges in a while, but you just never know what does it. But then I had like plenty of energy like in the afternoon. But then by like 4:30, I was like fucking all tired again, ready to go to sleep. So it's hard, man, because I don't know like when I'm gonna have energy, when I'm not. But so I hate to be a whiny little bitch about it, but dude, it's just draining, man. Like I'm doing what I can here. But yeah, I wanted to read from this article. And let me see if I can share this screen. Give me a second. Firefox, because I got a plug-in that makes the article look a lot better for trying to show it on screen. All right. Tranquility Reader, by the way, if anybody's interested. Let me share the screen. Because if you guys remember, I used to have people on when I was driving, truck driving, and we'd just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And honestly, man, at this point, I'm wondering if I'm even going to be able to go back to work. But anyway, this isn't about that. So, and thanks. Oh, by the way, shout out to the chat. Appreciate everybody being here. As always. Let me see if I can figure out how to share this screen, and we'll be doing even better. There it is. Thank you for your patience. I'll make this a little bigger if we can. And to me, it's more of about analyzing the actual verbiage. Like I get a kick out of some of these terms because, you know, I don't read these. And this is from the website is defense1.com, which I'm just assuming is some kind of website for people who like to cover, you know, keep up with war news and such. So this is China gears up for cognitive warfare. Like the U.S. military, the People's Liberation Army is working on wearable sensors and other ways to hone and maintain troops' fighting spirit. And like I say, it's not even the article itself or the fact that what's happening. I don't find that really that interesting. It's more of the language used, and then, you know, the aspects of mind control or propaganda. So it says, and this is from April the 7th of this year, China's military is increasingly at work on wearable technology and a dedicated psychological support system. So when I read dedicated psychological support system, I'm like, okay, they got my attention. To win at what it views as the crucial space of cognitive warfare. Okay, now you got my attention again, cognitive warfare. Manipulating enemy troops' state of mind to shape their behavior and hardening its own forces against such efforts. And again, the ideas of this happening is nothing new, but the way they're actually talking about it, I find fascinating. So in future, and this was my favorite phrase of the entire article, in future cognitive domain operations. I mean, you want to talk about a nightmare dystopia. Just the mere idea of future cognitive domain operations, the influence of rational factors such as science and logic on on individual cognition is likely to be weakened, and and they say likely, but they know it's already happened, and cognitive confrontation may become a contest of emotions. By the way, you know, that makes me think of like the Yuri Bezmenov idea of, you know, true information no longer matters. So they're talking about the actual emotion of the troops, the commanders, the you know, the generals, the officers, the actual emotional state. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about is actually the reason for the wearable. It's not, and that's, and I may be misunderstanding aspects of this article, but that's the message I'm taking, is they really seem to be focusing on, you know, okay, we know. So China's more or less saying China knows that they're going to, if they fight America, that China's going to try to do shit. They're going to psychologically attack the enemy troops. So then America is going to try to psychologically attack the Chinese troops. So it seems like they're talking about these wearables as a lot of it is going to be based on in real time being able to determine, you know, okay, this officer had his shit together. Now he's on tilt, you know, to use like a poker term. Now he's fucking on tilt, and they could immediately tell because of like the changes in his physiology. And then as the article is about to point out, they're going to have, you know, ways to counteract that. But I want to check in and see if this is resonating with the chat at all. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Shout out to Provo Kid. I still haven't gone and looked at that PT Cruiser yet. Maybe I should do that. I had that unexpected burst of energy yesterday, but I already mentally was prepared to not do anything. But I almost went over there yesterday. But yeah, we did have some guests earlier, but yeah, indeed. And I guess I'd have to actually go against what I said before. I guess I'd have to actually let Provo Kid on the channel now. Although he did, technically I did in the past anyway, but who knows? I don't know. Cognitive domain operations. Wait a minute. Yeah, here we go. In future cognitive domain operations, the influence. Wait, did I go too far? The influence of rational factors. I already read that. The rapid development of intelligent technology is changing the logic of information dissemination in an all-around way, making the impact of information on thinking and consciousness more profound and comprehensive, and human brain cognition has truly risen to an important field of military confrontation. Cognitive domain operations seek to capture the mind of one's foes, changing the thoughts and perceptions of an adversary to shape their decisions and actions. As another People's Liberation Army outlet describes, a cognitive attack aims to use an invisible hand to control the opponent's will, making the opponent feel I can't and I dare not, and then achieve the effect of I don't want to. Which, again, a lot of this just seems like a given. The way in which they're discussing it and the language used, I find more interesting than the actual information itself. Giving such perceived stakes, PLA media is also more and more concerned with warding off such attacks and stealing their forces' will in the mental aspects of war. In Cultivate a Good Combat Psychology, the authors write, war is not only a material contest, but also a spiritual contest. People are always the decisive factor in the outcome of a war, and the effective functioning of people depends on the support of a good psychological situation and stable psychological quality. Training for mental resolve, they write, can help ward off sensory disorders and other problems that can hurt judgment and decision making. Training environments must improve the psychological adaptation, stability, and endurance of officers and soldiers on the battlefield. In line with an ideological theme that cuts through much of PLA writing, they say such training can help troops cultivate, quote, revolutionary heroism that acts as a spiritual sword to overwhelm and defeat enemies. And I do find that to be interesting, especially the spiritual sword, especially, in the context that officially, and I'm sure some people practice religion in China, but as far as I understand, the country is, it's, godless commies, right? Yeah, indeed, Chuck. You're right. Psychological warfare is nothing new. Absolutely. That is very true. I'm glad you made that point. Yeah, I think, did he say 2003 or 2006? Maybe I'm looking at a 2003. At some point, I'm going to go check it out. Although I'm still trying to avoid purchasing a vehicle. I do see the numbers dropping slightly, so maybe they're not feeling the. Okay, well, Rob's feeling it, so we're going to at least keep going. Because the mental state has been elevated to high importance in the PLA, technical means are being turned to in growing effort to improve wartime psychological. This is the part I find that interesting. Wartime psychological assessment, early warning, and intervention is needed to combat, the enemy's psychological attacks on the home side's troops. In a growing number of PLA units, each soldier is being given smart sensor bracelets, which PLA Daily reports can provide physiological data in real time and promptly dispatches a psychological counselor to carry out psychological counseling. Bit redundant, but yeah, I'm assuming this is translated from Mandarin or whatever they speak over there. The bracelets are part of what the PLA has dubbed their intelligent psychological monitoring system, which reportedly allows each unit to continuously record the facial information of officers and soldiers, judge the psychological state of officers and soldiers in real time through data feedback, and archive them. The PLA is also expanding use of high-stress virtual reality simulations to make officers and soldiers feel like they are in actual combat. The value of VR also lies in how the data collected during such training sessions can then be used in the future to better prepare other soldiers for combat. On the lower tech side, the PLA has built anti-stress training halls, psychological behavior training fields, and group stress training halls, all designed to act as a spiritual station. There's that word spiritual again, a spiritual station for officers and soldiers to provide psychological consultation, emotional release, and physical and mental adjustment. And then, of course, the U.S. military is working on its own technology field efforts, blah, blah, blah. It says the initiative seeks to develop wearable systems that continuously monitor biometrics of fatigue and stress using electrophysiological sensors and biomarkers of stress such as cortisol, DHEAS, epinephrine, and NPY, and interstitial fluid. Wow. Isn't that like your fucking spinal fluid? Isn't that what that is? You can do a spinal tap on the battlefield there? The U.S. Army, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I already did that. Yeah, more U.S. Army stuff. The stakes of this competition in the cognitive domain may be high indeed. As one researcher from China's Academy of Military Sciences wrote last year, military confrontation on the surface is a confrontation between the hard powers of the two sides. But at a deeper level, no matter what the nature of the war and the purpose, it is ultimately a contest of human will. And then I think that's also a good, I think that also pertains to the spiritual war that I believe each and every one of us is involved with as well. What's up, Sideways Stewie? He said at Provo, fresh comments, indeed. Well, thanks to the 25 folks who hung out through the article. It says you never know, like when you see the numbers going down, is that because I was reading a news article, or is it just they all went somewhere else, or like what happened? Try not to take it too personally, but yeah, Battlefield. Indeed, Ginger Rich. Battlefield Spinal Taps are legit. Yeah. Chuck says kind of like when Hitler was giving troops speed and other drugs to keep them going. Yeah, and in fact, lest we forget, it was the Japanese who invented methamphetamine or discovered it or whatever right around, I believe, 1920-ish, lest we forget. But I don't have too much more. Hell, we did an hour and a half. It flew by. Unless somebody in the chat really wants to get in here. Okay, awesome. And well, you're free to come up if you want to, Mr. Miyagi. That's completely up to you. If not, always happy to read your comments in the chat. Good to see you around, of course. Now I'm wondering, I want to see if anybody else went live. Nope, I'm live. Oh, maybe I can find that David Cho about the what I was saying earlier about the losing of the jobs. AI, David Cho AI. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting clip. I think you guys will like this. Let me share this window. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, if you guys would, if you can, if you know somebody went live, just let me know in the chat if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it. I just like to. It's like not even really that I care. Thank you, Stephen Crumley. It's like I'm grateful. There's 25 people here. It's just when it goes from 35 to 25, it's like now I'm curious. It's like, oh, I got to solve this mystery. What the hell happened? So yeah, OTW. Good deal, man. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Miyagi says he'll be up again someday. Indeed, sir. Indeed. Oh, wait, RT says our existence here seems to be driven by experiments done to alter the behavior and worldview of the next generation and on and on. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Let's share this screen. Maybe. This is called Discover How AI Changed the Art World.
Out AI for the consumers, right? But some of the people we know, like the shit is bonkers, dude. And I talked to Jamie about it. Like, you will never fucking be able to believe, like, I could come home and be like, AI, suck my dick. AI, I want to listen to the Carpenters, but I want Ice-T to sing it. AI, my dad was like really shitty to me. Put him up a hologram, have him say all the apologies I wish he said, but he never said. AI, Ozarks, but all Asian, change the ending to The Sopranos, deep fake. Like, that's coming. That's here. It's not perfect yet.
It's getting real close.
And so what does it do? It brings the temperature of the fear up, right? Like, a lot of my friends have lost their jobs. A lot. If I was still trying to sell art, I'd be fucking out of a job. Like, AI paints way better than I do. And so what did Metallica have to do? Tour, right? AC/DC, Stones, like 90 years old, still fucking touring. And so it's like what we were saying again. That's here now. You could sign papers and shit to try to make that go away. That's a fucking insane monster that's here now. And of course we would love it if it was best case scenario and it was here to aid humanity and do all that. But we've seen enough Terminators. Like, the things, it's a human that made that, right? So it's going to probably be really racist. It's probably going to be super sexist. It's probably going to be like psychopathic. It's probably going to, and so I could go to fear, I could go to hate, or I could go to acceptance, adapting, and our religion of love. And so whatever like that's a gift. If you're like working at a job and you're like, wow, AI is a self-driving car now. I'm out of my truck driving job, or I've learned my whole life how to like edit sound, and now that's done. Like all that, it's almost like freeing you to be the whatever is coming next. And so whatever.
Oh yeah, see, it's not a disaster that you've lost your means of earning a living in this this hellscape, and now you don't. Now you're filled with dread and fear and all these negative emotions. But look at the bright side. Now you're freed up to engage your creativity and learn the new shit. So like yeah, you're a coal miner in West Virginia or Pennsylvania or wherever, and they've shut the coal plants down. But don't worry, you can just learn to code.
Your version of touring is, right? Which is the third space again. It's human connection. Like you can't make, if forget Metallica, if you're like a new band, most people aren't buying CDs, tapes, records. So you have to sell merch. You have to go out. You have to perform. You have to meet people. You have to have connection. So whatever that version of that is for you as a human, no more like you're gonna have to move away from technology and more to human connection.
Okay.
That's my belief on it, because it's fucking scary as shit.
Well, and maybe he's partially right, and maybe that is part of what's been going on with these panels and people actually using technology, but then it's actually, in order to connect based on some of what he's talking about. I don't know. I'll have to think more about it.
And I could choose to live in fear and be scared, or like people are losing their livelihoods that they spent their life on. Like,
that aspect of it is terrifying, because people aren't stable financially enough to deal with the entire industry going away.
I fired my lawyer. Like I asked ChatGPT, like my lawyer costs $600 every time I pick up the phone. And I was like, as a test, like, here's the questions. And, I always got to do 10 minutes of small talk. I'm like, that's $100 right there. Like, I don't care about your kids, dude.
Well, you also don't care about $100, Joe, to be fair. And I highly doubt he number one, fired his lawyer. Number two, he has multiple lawyers. I mean, this dude is very wealthy, according to the official fiction. But so it makes me wonder, is he on here trying to push some propaganda? I mean, I have to assume so, right?
Tell me what I want to know. So he gave me a very similar answer than the ChatGPT. I'm like, that's a phone call I'm never gonna have to make again.
Wow.
Boom, done. The guy that does like, but now that guy's free to pursue the next chapter of his life,
See, it's actually, it's a good thing. Now he's free to pursue the next chapter of his life. Fuck you.
Whatever.
If something's available,
Fuck
the problem is what people like Andrew Yang were worried about was this mass disruption of our economy, where automated things and things
and fuck Andrew Yang
done through AI remove most jobs. And so we have this abundance of wealth that's available to things like the war in Ukraine.
What do you, there's not an abundance of wealth, Joe. That's a strange way to discuss the fucking fractional reserve banking system and the creating money out of nothing, but okay.
And some other stuff, like we need to consider something like a universal basic income.
Yeah.
So, and it's not saying that just for people to never work, you don't have to work, we'll just give you money. That's not what it is. It's like you have to figure out a way to give people enough money to survive if everything goes away, because everything might go away.
This could be an awkward conversation.
Uh-oh.
Like Jamie's job is probably going to be irrelevant if it isn't already.
No,
3 years or so.
But
No, I'm saying
no. Half of the show is the fun of pull that up, Jamie, and I'm like,
Word.
what bullshit ass link is this? Find me some shit on DuckDuckGo.
There could be a good AI that could be.
So that's
I'm
my
sure,
whole
but it's
history. I'll
not.
feed it some
Listen,
videos and-
listen.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
No chance. No, because
Within-
everyone's going to want to know that Jamie's here.
right, exactly. So even if that's what I'm saying,
Yes.
you still want the human contact,
Yes.
right? Like if the AI is here and it's like every single editing, bring that up, Jamie, and maybe even you can trick them. There's a deep fake voice that's doing like, all right, Joe, or whatever. Like you would still, for you, you'd be like, I like Jamie as a person.
Yes.
Like I want him here. I like him.
Well, it's an intangible part of the vibe.
Right.
If you just decide that that's not a part of the vibe and Jamie's not here anymore, I would feel it. I'd feel a loss.
Right.
I'm gonna give you an
Love you,
example.
Jamie.
There's a thing about things that people do, and this is like the concern about AI art. And I know a lot of people have concerns about AI art, and I get where they're coming from.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I found that interesting. What's up, Drew? Well, that's fine. We'll see. We'll see, Drew. Drew's the expert, though, by the way. He knows. Drew's been through it. So, yeah, we might have to... in the future, maybe I'll just play the audio. What do you think about that? You think I can get away with just the audio there, Drew? Exactly. What did you walk in on? I mean, technically it's what's crazy is that should be fair use, what I just did. Like it definitely should be, but we all understand that really they get you with the audio too. But see, I'm not monetized, so I haven't had any problem like just playing songs and shit. It just says copyright claim, but I just know it'll never be able to be monetized. What's up, James Steele? Good to see you. Let me drop the old, well, that ain't the link. Yeah, definitely don't need any strikes or problems with the channel. So, yeah, it should be. Exactly. That's what I find fascinating. Yeah, it should be, but will it be? That's Yeah, maybe. But you know, they might still. I might have to like go through this appeals process. So I might have to. I might have to have Drew. I might have to consult with Drew to find out how to actually get around some of this stuff if I do get in trouble. Quote, get in trouble. I mean, I'm a 47-year-old man and I'm in trouble with a platform administered by the type of people who, go to San Francisco pride parades. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm siphoning the Rogan clout. That's right. Let me try to drop this link. We'll see if anybody wants to come up in here. You never know. Drew cruises by every once in a while, so brought the fishing line here and see if we catch anything. Yeah, it's funny to see that, isn't it? Because, and I will say this, Drew, I definitely wouldn't have come to YouTube if I hadn't at least detected, I might actually be able to talk, halfway. And as much as I hate the idea of self-censorship, I guess I've certainly engaged in it to some degree. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Rob got his channel back. Yeah, that was, I remember when that happened. Shockingly, I think Drew's been through way more, believe it or not. I remember numerous times that Drew's been through he's been to hell and back with some of this stuff. People trying to attack his channel. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah, exactly. I remember, man, and like, yeah, a lot of videos that I was involved with just went away. And I remember Drew at one point, he just like asked our opinion on the Discord, and I was like, take them down, man. It's not worth the fucking risking your channel over it. I didn't even hesitate. I was like, yeah, take that shit down, man, if that's what you got to do. Of course, I didn't know anything about it. Oh, I missed that, RT. I was not aware of that. When did that happen? That's hilarious. Yep. Drive by. That's right. Drop the fishing line. See if we catch anything. That's right, man. Do a little trolling here. Jugging. Yeah, I don't know, man. In fact, sometimes it's some of these clips, it's not even like an official Rogan channel, right? So I don't know how it works, man. I've given up. Given up on trying to figure it out. Huh. I don't even know what that means, Stewie, but sounds ominous. And this is, I think, where it can be helpful to kind of share information. Because between all of us, I'm sure we know exactly what the fuck's going on if we put all of our, put all of our info together, right? Yeah, exactly. That does seem to help. Yeah, the frequent pauses. Hey, all right, we summoned him. What's happening, partner?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, I'm on that little lapel mic again, but through the phone this time. I kind of like this thing.
Hell yeah.
It was buzzing though on my computer. It was making a weird buzz, I think, because of the voltage of the computer or something.
Yeah, dude, there's always kind of weird interference, I've noticed.
What do you got going on today? I'm just popping in. What are you talking about?
I think I'm pretty much done. I don't even remember. I read some article about warfare, and then Wizard was in here for a minute. Did you see EBT from last night?
I saw the video and I just kind of scrolled through it real quick. It looks funny, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty fucking funny, actually.
Yeah, it looked great. I was like, I gotta download it before he deletes it, I think.
Oh yeah, I downloaded it, but he made some shorts off of it, so I think maybe he's gonna leave it up, but you never know.
Okay, good. Yeah, I want to watch it once the kids take a nap or something.
Yeah, man. What's good with you? What's happening?
Not much, man. Just grinding out this eBay. Got a bunch of video games I'm putting out this week. So the video games sell within 24 hours, man.
Really?
Yeah, they sell quick.
Like vintage NES and
anything really if you price it right. But yeah, I have 64. I had 2 Super Nintendos. They were already gone. I have 4 Wiis. I have all kinds of shit. Did a buyout.
Nice. Yeah, I was always kind of, and I understand you probably have your reasons for not doing it, but I always kind of wanted to see if you did any of that content of, whatever you call that. I know there's like a whole genre of it on
Oh,
YouTube. apparently.
reselling, yeah, it's yeah, there is a whole genre of it. Yeah, I would like to share my eBay and just so people could like check it out, or if anyone wanted to support, they could. But there's these homos that like that one homo in particular.
Oh yeah.
The moose slime dude. He's like he's on these web forums like offering $50 just to find my eBay. I just don't want people like fucking with me.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
There'll
Yeah,
be
it's not
people
worth
like
it.
buying shit and then say, "Oh, I didn't get it" or something, and I'll be out a $300 something.
Yeah, definitely not worth it. So yeah, keep that
Yeah,
secret.
it's so gay. Yeah, this one dude is just stalking me. If I still haven't made the video, I don't know if I'm kind of on the fence if I want to make the video about it or not, because I just want the dude to go away. But obviously, he's not going to go away. It's been years, so I kind of want to put him on blast. But basically, this dude's he's posting on Opie and Anthony like Reddit forums, but they're not on Reddit. It's like a forum, but it's from the people from Reddit or something like that. And he's like posting all my like docs, posting all my information. And he seems hell bent on he wants to get me like in trouble with the law or possibly arrested or at least get tons of back pay on my child support. Like he's after my child support. He's doxing my ex-wife who I was divorced 15 years ago. I hate this bitch. I don't care about her. But he's like doxing this bitch and like threatening to call her and call her mother. This dude's fucking nuts, dude. And his whole I don't even know what you call it. His angle is basically that I somehow make like all this money that I don't report. So I underreport to child support. So I should owe my ex-wife tons of more money. Well,
what the fuck?
That's not how it works. So he's trying to like get my eBay and all the shit so he can like report it to child support. So first of all, that's not how the shit works. You don't just tell child support what you make. You have to provide documentation of what you make, right? They don't just take your word for it. You have to prove. And then they also go by what's called your earning potential. So even though I'm not making what I was making when I was working for Costco right now, I'm still paying at the rate of that because that's my earning potential. I had that job in the past and I can, according to them, I could make that much money now today. So even though I make less doing my own thing now, for some reason, he's under this impression that I should owe hundreds of more dollars a month. And so he's literally trying to like, he's admitting in the post, he's going to like submit all this information to the state and to call my ex-wife and tell her she's got money coming and all this fucking shit. Dude, my ex-wife's a crazy bitch. She'll call the cops on him right away. I mean, it's crazy, dude. Over nothing, over just some internet fucking bullshit, talking shit.
Same guy as always we're talking about?
Yeah, Bokura.
Fuck.
I'll call him out. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm kind of like, dude, I kind of want to put his whole shit on blast. But at the same time, it's like, I don't really even want to fucking deal with it. I don't know. It's fucking nuts, though. I can prove everything he says is a fucking lie. He's posting pictures of my fucking kids. He found like an old picture I put on Twitter and like a personal account like a long time ago when my kids were like, maybe they were like 7 and 10 years old. So he puts that of my girls. So he puts that picture online and then puts their personal information, like this is their name and birth date. And these are the victims. He's saying they're the victims of me. And then, but he's posting pictures of my fucking kids. It's infuriating me.
Dude.
And my one daughter, she's still not 18 yet. So he's really technically he's posting pictures of fucking underage children online.
Man, I don't even know what to say at this point. It's
I mean, it's insane the shit he says, dude. It's like Fatal Attraction stalker shit.
Well, and you can't be the only one. He's got to be doing this to other people.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I Me and my wife talk about that all the time. Like, there's other people that he harasses like this. So I've actually tracked this dude. It's such a time sink to me. I hate to fuck with it, but I have to stay on top of it, And I've traced this dude all the way back to the early internet forum days, where he's on like bodybuilding forums, trading dick pics with people. I can if you go to bodybuilding.com, there's like forums on there, and his name was Molek on there, MOLEC, and you can just search it up, and there's a Hall of Fame thread in the bodybuilding forums about him getting caught on like some gay site posting dick pics, asking people to suck his dick, and then he denied it and like deleted everything right away. But they had all the screenshots and everything, and they like fucking shamed him off the board, basically.
Dude.
So this dude's been so that's way back in the day. So this dude's been fucking with people online like for fucking years and years and years, and then he's on like anthropology forums with like literally like 20,000 posts under just one account. Plus he has multiple sock accounts and shit. And so he's just like a terminally online. The online shit just makes people crazy. I feel like if you're crazy, if you're online more, it just makes you even fucking crazier.
I agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
Whereas, especially like Aphrodite, that's kind of my test example, where she was just terminally online. She was getting worse and worse, and now she's outside doing shit, living a life, and she seems way less crazy.
Yeah, definitely. She actually seems pretty cool, and she was bonkers there for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, so this dude, I don't know what to even. I would like to kind of get him on the record and show how everything he says is 100%. Like, he's posted my fucking this is how far the dude went. He's posting my, what is it called, like the divorce decree from 15 years ago. He's posted, like, he dug up this public information, my divorce decree. And then, dude, he went so far as my ex-wife got married again and got divorced again since then. He posted her fucking second divorce decree. And that guy that she married, my ex-wife married this other guy and had a kid with him. I never talked to the guy once in my life, never even said hello to the guy. So Bokura is already like fucking more obsessed with my ex-wife than me, it seems like.
God.
So he's posting the divorce decrees from both divorces of my ex-wife, and he's like, see, he's not providing for his kids. And then when you look at the numbers that me and the other guy pay, it's almost the exact same. It's like $5 off or something like that, if I remember right. And then he's making claims that he says tens of thousands of dollars behind in child support. But he posts so he posts the divorce decree or the child support order, which says like it's just over $400 a month. So 3 months would be just over $1,000, right? So I'd have to be 30 months behind to just be $10,000 behind. And he's saying I'm tens of thousands of dollars behind. Yeah, so I'd have to be like 60 months behind, 5 years behind, not paid a dime to be what he even says. Like, I kind of want to like put him out and show like this is bullshit. I just got a thing from the state the other day that I am $1,000 behind because I don't pay it I just kind of pay it when they threaten to do something, then I pay it. And
yeah,
I don't know. It's just fucking irritating. But the fact that it's involving, now my kids, my daughters, and my fucking ex-wife, who I hate, but I don't, she doesn't deserve to be put out there like that. And then she's going to blame me for it. I have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's a crazy bitch. She's going to be like, oh, this is your fault.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. I almost don't have the words for it, but
yeah, it's insane. I don't know what to say about it either. It's just like,
yeah,
I just want the dude to go away and just leave me alone. That's all I want. But obviously he's not going to. It's been 2-3 years now.
Well, I mean, I don't even want to I don't even know. Like, it sounds like he's in love with you or something. I mean,
well, that's what me and my wife speculate too. And then tinfoil too. He harasses tinfoil. Toilet Bowl Earth. He's
Oh yeah, he was trying to ask me stuff about tinfoil.
yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
Yeah,
So I think I do think he's in love with me a little bit, but I think he loves tinfoil even more. Like he's even said, he was in the Discord before, like, this is so gay. He's like, yeah, you are my grand prize or something to Toilet Bowl Earth.
God.
Like, I think he's one. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I can't make this definitive claim, but he definitely has like mental health issues. Totally.
Yeah, it's got to.
The only thing that's kind of the only thing that I'm not worried, but I guess like my apprehension is if I do put this dude on blast, and I'm not worried about him at all. I'm worried about more like other people that are just as deranged as him. Then they'll be connecting with him, like, oh, give me all the information and all, like you have nothing on me, dude. In the past, he's put he made a video which I still have saved, is where he said he found a guy with my name that beat his wife in Las Vegas. But it says right on the police report, it's like a black guy. It says race black. And then he put it up there as if it's me, and he's like, yeah, Drew and his wife they went to Las Vegas when she was pregnant, and then he beat her when she was pregnant. And then this is here. And then as far as the black thing, he's like, oh, just ignore this clerical error here. This is just a clerical error. And so he wants you to believe that when my wife found out she was pregnant, we decided we're going to go to Vegas. Let's go to Vegas, of all places, with a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to beat the shit out of you there. I mean, it's just insane, dude.
Well, I'm sorry this is happening to you, man. I
mean, it's not even that big of a deal. It's just an annoyance, It's just like a I
don't know. It's kind of a big deal, I think.
I'm more mad about my daughter. He's putting my daughter's informations out there, and then my ex-wife, who I can't stand, but like she has nothing to do with it. So I don't know why he's almost like, he seems like when you read the forum post, it seems like he almost has this like fantasy about my ex-wife or something. And he's like, oh, I'd give anything to find her. I can't find her pictures because she doesn't have an online footprint and all this shit. Like, dude, you're a fucking psycho, dude.
Man.
So I've been dealing with that, and that's the reason I can't share my fucking eBay on the YouTube, even though like, it's always one person, or one out of like 1,000. There'll be that one out of 1,000 person that's gonna like fuck with the store and give you a bad review, say you didn't deliver some expensive item.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, people ruin everything, man.
Yeah, it's just those one or two people ruin it for fucking everyone.
Yep. Indeed. Gay ops indeed, Mr. McGee.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, there's really nothing I can do, there's no, it's basically a stalker situation, and there's no like remedy for it either, really. Because he hasn't really, he's doxxed and all shit like that, but they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I've
got thoughts on the matter, but there's really no point in verbalizing any of them here, that's for sure.
You just don't want that dude coming after you next.
Well, what's funny is, like, I think I was just nice enough to him because we were only on the Discord together for a very short time, and I was there when tinfoil was like really giving him the business, and I think I was just nice enough to him that he thinks I'm all right. From his perspective, I guess. Yeah. I had no idea how fucking crazy he was. I just knew somehow to fucking leave, be halfway decent to him and I'm not saying you guys weren't. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, dude. I got lucky, I guess.
Yeah. It's just his inability to be normal. We were cool to him at first, and I think I don't even remember the first time what happened on the Discord where he spurred out or something. And then we let him back on again, and ever since then, like, he just can't be normal. So he's definitely not a normal person. He's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and when I was living in the streets, I always intentionally like befriended the really crazy motherfuckers, because it was like, if they ever went off the reservation, I wanted them to remember that I was cool to them. It's like, just go get those other motherfuckers, leave me out of it. But yeah, man, I had no idea. I had no way of knowing that any of that was going to happen. But the fucking internet, man. I mean, good Lord. And I remember you talking about how the YouTube people, and I think that's changed a little bit to some extent. But back in the day, how crazy the YouTube people were.
Yeah, like rum. So he was heavily associated with the rum. So the whole drama between me and this dude started. I don't know if you remember that girl. Her name was Alex, and her channel name is Ascended Tribe.
Oh yeah, I remember all that. Oh yeah.
So here's how the beef or drama. I shouldn't even call it a beef. It's just here's how the drama started between me and this dude who's still stalking me. Is on the Discord. There's this girl named Alex, and her channel is called Ascended Tribe. I call her Ascended Tribe.
Yeah.
And so she was texting with or messaging, whatever, private messaging or whatever with this stalker dude, and she was messaging back and forth, and he sent her a message that was a screenshot of what she said to him. It's kind of hard to follow, but he screenshotted what she said, and he sent it back to her and wrote, "That's her tone," and sent it to her. And she screenshotted that, and he deleted it like immediately, but she got a screenshot of that. So basically, like, he's communicating with her and sending screenshots of what she's saying to a third party, who knows who that is, and saying this is her tone, or I don't know, I don't really know what his angle is there, but she has the screenshot to prove that's what he did. And she said he like deleted it immediately, but she got it. So
Yeah,
then I was telling her, like, okay, this is weird. Like, he's doing some weird shit, right? Like, and he talked his way to her out of that he wasn't, but he obviously was. And that's the drama, is because I was trying to tell her, like, yeah, this is fucking weird. Some weird shit's happening there. And so ever since then, this dude's just been like trying to like destroy my life, but he can't. He's trying to like expose me of like that I'm a bad person or I'm doing illegal things or stuff. Anything he could try to do to kind of like what do you call it, like defame me or something. I don't know, online.
Yeah,
but he
definitely.
can't. I'm not the best person or anything, but I don't have any like crazy shit
exactly
out there on me. And I feel like it's hard for him to believe that, because that's probably how he operates. He probably has real fucking crazy shit. Well, he definitely has real crazy shit on his name.
Yeah. Dude, I don't even know, man. But yeah, I remember all that Ascended Tribe stuff. That was kind of crazy. That was definitely crazy.
So he's communicating with a third party about what she's saying. And there, if you look him up on YouTube, there's another woman that had a problem with him before, and she was like exposing him as well. He was doing weird shit to her too. So, like you said, it's not just me. And then if you type in MOLEC Molek Gunta GUNTA, there's like someone that he had a problem with in the past made like a Twitter of him and put his pictures on there with like his face and drag and everything. So that was someone else he was beefing. So he's been beefing with people basically online the whole time he's been online, because he's fucking nuts.
Yeah, man.
That's why I just wanted to move on and go to your next victim. Leave me the fuck alone. But
exactly,
for some reason he won't stop. I don't know how you get these crazies off you.
I don't know, man.
And that's the thing. If he lived anywhere here, I'd go to his fucking house, dude.
Well,
he's in another country.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say without saying it, but yeah.
Oh, I would show the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Tired of it.
Well, I mean, there's really no point in talking about it, but I hear you. Like, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand where you're coming from.
All right, I'm gonna go eat some lunch. Sorry, at least I got to vent about that.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. And say hi to Rob if you would, real quick.
What's up, Rob?
Mind.
I'll hang up and listen. I'm gonna go.
All right, man. That was Drew.
Oh, so he left already? I wanted to ask him something.
Yeah, I don't know if he I don't think he saw you were here, but yeah, man, the online stalking for sure. And and again, what's funny is, how this stuff works is I've talked to that guy before, and I never had a problem with him as far as me interacting with him was never a problem. And I think that's what EBT has said. EBT is like, I never had a problem with him, but, this obviously is not, it's not cool. What's going on with him and Drew, man. This is just not, it's not the way. And, I would be, internet friends with somebody like that if he wasn't a crazy stalker. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but think about that. He could probably have some, I think his life would be better if he wasn't engaged in this behavior, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to look, I mean, it'd be easy for me to just be like, oh, he's a piece of garbage and this and this and that, that's the easy route to take. But it's like, yeah, Drew's suffering for this and that sucks. But dude, this guy's suffering also just from being a fucking crazy, obsessed person. Like, it's like, man, is this really like how he's going to live his life? It's just nuts. I don't get it. So I feel for Drew, man. And sometimes I feel like I wish I had a little bit better way to, lend support or whatever, but it's just like, I don't even know what to say. But what Drew was starting to allude to, there at the end, I've been having those thoughts for quite some time. I will say that, because I don't have very many people that I even really, I only know Drew over the internet, but I only have a few people that I really know in that way. And dude, when somebody fucks with them, like I start feeling some type of way, you know what I'm saying? So it makes me like, but there's really nothing to be done. Unfortunately, I don't know that there's anything anybody can do.
No, you just gotta continue to live your life and just, do the next right thing and surrender the rest.
Yeah, and and it was crazy back in the old Discord days, but there was this person, Jag. I'm sure some people remember this person, and then Just a Gal, JAG, and then me. I'm a little more stable than maybe I was in the past. Although, and then there was this guy Ruthless or Rump, and then there was. So sometimes I would get lumped in with these really crazy motherfuckers, and I got a little offended because it was like, yeah, I know I'm. I got something to me, but like, I'm not like these people. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I think people understand that by now. It's like, yeah, Benton's got his own proclivities or whatever, but I ain't nothing like those people, man. Not at all.
Yeah, I haven't been around I've never been on Discord, but I hear a lot of things about it, and I hear a lot about the people that frequent that app, I guess it is.
Yeah. Well, it can be great. It can be, but I had to get away. I got away from it it was just unhealthy for me at the time. But, I'm sure there's a lot of, I enjoyed it a lot. We had a lot of fun back in the day for sure. It was a good time overall, but this is the thing is, man, like this went on so long ago, and the fact that it's still happening and in fact seems to have accelerated is just, and like, I kind of don't even want to be talking about it, but if I've got something to say, I'm going to say it, regardless. But, and Drew he did kind of hit the nail on the head. He's like, oh, you're just trying to, keep him away from you or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, man, for some reason, I just dodged all that somehow. And this guy asked me recently, like, hey, did I know Tinfoil's first name? It's like,
oh, shit.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't even respond, but it's like, what the fuck, man? Just leave people alone is what I'm thinking. Like, what is this? So, and I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't start fucking with me, but I can't live in fear. It's like, I'm not going to go out of my way.
I mean, he must have a real shitty life in order to kind of keep pressing on this thing for, what is it, 2-3 years now?
Oh yeah. It's been like 3 years. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
Drew can't be the only one.
No, there's no way. And, well, this is kind of what, and this thinks he's a penguin at LOL. He's was one of my podcast guests back in the day. Good to see him around. He said, yeah, he probably is suffering insanity. I think so, unless that's just a common name I'm not aware of. Yeah, he probably is suffering. Insanity isn't conducive to quality of life. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, is like that I do have some level of compassion or empathy for other people, because I imagine what it would be like to be that kind of person. Like, that's got to be horrible, man.
Yeah, I feel that to some degree, but at the same time, I can't really have too much sympathy or empathy, because people make choices to get into that situation for the most part. I don't know much about this guy, so I can't really say too much.
No. Well, we cannot escape the consequences of our actions. Like I'm not talking about absolving him of guilt. I'm just more talking about
Okay.
just the suffering of an individual. It's like the guy that I had that problem with this morning. When I was walking, it's like, yeah, he's suffering. But it's like, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be involved. But then I'd think about, imagine what it's like to be that person, right? Like that's suffering. Well, and this is something else I wanted to talk about real quick. This is something I also, because I used to be a real big fan of that show, Hoarders, and I noticed that like these people that just they live in these piles of garbage, and like they're like, oh, where do you sleep? And they're just sleep like in a pile of garbage, but literally like a mound of trash. But there was always like a computer there, right? There's always like a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse, and they're laying in the pile of garbage. So I put two and two together, and I realized like, okay, these people are on the internet, like talking like they're normal. So, and then I extrapolated it out, and I realized that, okay, well, and I don't mean the people on this channel, but I think a sizable portion of these online circles is literally hoarder shut-ins, living in a pile of garbage somewhere. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Yeah. Some is it 30%? Is it 10%? Some percentage of these people are living this way, man. Like for
Gotta
real.
be.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I think about.
Yeah, I never really thought about that until you just laid that out so succinctly, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Jimbo Khan said he's on SSI, sits in his mom's basement all day trying to get reactions from people on the internet. Yeah, that's definitely a subset of people are like that for sure. But yeah, let's play Who's the Hoarder in chat. Well, Ginger Ridge, I'm trying to, I don't really mean us, I mean, as far as this channel, but, and again, like I've said, I'll be friends with a hoarder. I mean, I don't care. It's fine. But I mean, it's a thing, right? Like it's a real thing. Like I've never met anybody who's just like, yeah, I'm a hoarder, but I'm sure I've met some hoarders here and there. It'd have to be. But I think I'm going to wrap up, Rob. I feel like it's went well. Kind of go out on a high note here, declare victory and go home. Thanks for joining in. What were you going to tell Drew real quick?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to ask him if he had the Sega Dreamcast on his eBay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're in the market?
Yeah, for something.
Okay.
Something.
Cool. I might
but all right, Ben. I'll get up out of here.
Well, I might shoot him an email and because I know he wants to keep that eBay name under wraps, but he said no, he's never found a Dreamcast, he said.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They were very unpopular because I used to be into video games. I remember when they came out, and I don't think people really bought them, so maybe that's why there's not too many around. But I know I've seen them here and there, but that was probably in years past. But
I fucking love that thing, man. But anyways, I gotta get. I know you want to get up out of here, Ben. I'll let you go. You have a great day.
Yeah. You know me well. I'll just keep rambling for like 40 minutes. So, all right, brother. Have a good day. Yeah. Well, real quick, I wanted to talk about the before we go. What was this? I guess they're doing some construction work here at the motel. Hearing some like sawing or something. Shit, it had something to do with video games, I think. All right, totally forgot. Oh well, so much for going out on a high note. Better do some crowd work here real quick. Yeah. Oh, I love those hoarding shows, RT. I was fucking fascinated for a long time, man. Yeah. I've read books about it too. Fascinating. Well, and then I wish if I had the video handy, I would show you, but because there's homeless hoarders, these homeless people that, they cart around these gigantic piles of garbage everywhere. And there was this hilarious, I watched this video it was in Venice or Santa Monica or wherever. And there's these public bathrooms, and these homeless people, I guess, go in there right before, they go in there at night or whatever before they get locked, or I don't know, somehow they get in there at nighttime and they live in the fucking bathroom until they get kicked out. So the next morning, the people come to kick them out so they can, hose down the bathrooms or whatever, the little, little individual bathrooms. And there was this guy, they're kicking him out, and he's got all this garbage, and he's getting mad at the people because they're giving him mixed messages, but the mixed messages were based on, he knows that like the stuff on the ground is garbage that he's not taking with him, but then he's taking his other stuff with him, but you can't tell the difference. Like the stuff he's taking looks just as much like garbage as the stuff he's leaving behind. Right. So now he's confused because he's thinking one person told him to, hey, get rid of this stuff. And the other person's like, no, just leave it. So the person who said, just leave it, seems to understand, well, that's trash. Right. And the guy's like getting mad and upset about it but I'm watching this as a homeless person going, oh, it's because they can't tell what he considers to be his possessions versus what he considers to be garbage. Because to us, it just all looks like trash. And I think that's the same thing with the hoarders, is like, to them, like, some of it is garbage, but you can't really tell like what is it that they consider trash versus, to me, I'm just like, burn the fucking house down, right? Like just leave and burn it down and be done with it. Yeah, indeed. Well, and we're all, I think, some of this is modern living, right? Like we're all kind of hoarders to some degree, I would say. And I know minimalism is a thing and all that, but, to some extent, we all sort of probably have way more than what we have to have, even me, right? Yeah, now we're talking vintage video games. Yeah. Yep. An emotional and physical attachment to material items. Well, there you go. Indeed, it's a thing for sure. The things we own end up owning us. Shout out to the chat. Thanks to everybody that was here. Hopefully, we don't get any copyright claims over the Rogan David Show clips. Thanks for watching / listening. Bye.